Yo, what the fuck is going on? Today is December 26th. We're going to be going over penny stocks, pre-market, and open markets. I was hungover as a rat today, and I still managed to secure the bag. So let's dive right into it with ADD ad. Ad ran, I believe it was yesterday at 1, or not yesterday, sorry, on New Year's Eve, December 24th. So the markets closed at 1, so this was technically after hours. It did push up to 550, and then in pre-market today, it does hit that, but it's kind of fading off. I didn't really love this stock overall, just because something with moving like this, I don't have a lot of history with. And so anything that's kind of not very predictable or doesn't fit the trend, I tend to kind of push away a little bit. This thing did kind of hold up a little bit. It held the 420 Blaze It support line. One thing we did see on Tuesday and Monday this week is a lot of VWAP fails. If it's under VWAP, it tends to stay under and reject. However, if we do break above it, it tends to be very bullish and hold VWAP. But if it breaks below, it tends to be very bearish. But usually wherever it's at, kind of, I have been expecting it to do whatever it's, if it's over, I expect it to hold. If it's under, I expect it to reject. So this is a case where ad just kind of rejected off of open and also failed rotation here. Not really a rejection off of VWAP per se, but close enough off the intra 200. But other than that, it did fail and go to basically zero. Holy fucking shit. We're moving over to AIRE, AIRE. This is the first. I'm raw dogging this right now. I was busy doing other stuff, but this is, off the top of my head, this is a fucking sick move. So let's dive right into it. AIRE. So this one ran, its previous highs were 150. We have yearly highs at 245. I love that it's holding here. I didn't really love this drop off, because like we said about things opening below VWAP tend to kind of stay under, which this did. You know, we have this rejection right here, and at this point it's 11 a.m. This hasn't done anything. You know, I'm pretty much out ski on it, especially on the day after Christmas. We're not expecting something like this to happen. But again, sometimes stuff like this, they do happen when it's least expected. So you always got to keep your fucking head on a swivel at all costs. But the pre-market was really nice. It wasn't up a shit ton percent. It was kind of holding flat. I didn't really love the dip into it, but we get a rejection. It holds. I mean, even down here, we have a rotation, but it rejects off of VWAP at first. Dude, this thing fucking just breaks through VWAP and goes dick high. Holy fuck. From $2, does it halt at all? I don't think. Holy shit, it halts way up here at 372. Almost 100% move before it halts. Sheesh. Damn, that's fucking wild. That's craziness. It didn't even, it put in, let's see, it put in one bearish red candle. My chart looks different. Red means green, green means red. But yeah, I only put one kind of red candle here. That's crazy. To me, there's really no dip opportunity here. You'd think that if I was around, I'd be looking for a dip, maybe pre-market high at 245s, 250s. I mean, this thing didn't even, this was not even a 190 EMA wave. This thing just fucking went straight the fuck up. That's wild. But we do get a nice dip here. If we are big open halt traders, maybe a dip right there could have worked, but these tend to be risky. Nice kind of fade off. This is a weird setup right there, but it does hold this 330 pivot. Kind of grinds upwards, and you get another spike, and then it fades out. Woof. That's wild. I don't know if there was news on this maybe midday. This honestly looks like a news play. Usually news plays halts like midday, but this type of move is definitely not fucking organic by any means. But crazy nonetheless, crazy spike. I think that's kind of it for me. I don't really have a whole lot of... I'm not really seeing a whole lot here that I can kind of take away from. But we'll have to review it a little bit later just to see. But overall, crazy good push there by AIRE. Moving to AMPG. This one was a recycled name. If we're looking at the 30-day here. This thing's been grinding up for a while. It's been in the top gainers for a while. On Tuesday, we had this pop up to kind of pre-market high, and then it grinded all the way up to about 430s. We get to pre-market, and it has a offering like 5 minutes before open. So we have this offering news that comes out at 9:15. I think it was like 3.20 a share, something like that, something down here. One thing about offerings lately, I don't have hard concrete evidence of this, but we have seen a lot of offerings that have recovered. So if that is kind of more your vibe, I mean, this thing just spent 10 minutes down here and then just went straight up into pre-market highs essentially. So that was pretty fucking sick. We do have the 430s here where it holds, so good flag right here, long term. So this is a long-term grindy stock. I'm not going to use this for a lot of the patterns that I do, but on recycled names, a big key thing is obviously previous day highs. So 430 was a pivotal level. So those are the kind of stuff you want to be looking for recycled names, multi-day runners. And then yeah, that's a crazy move. Both this and this. It's pretty sweet. All right, moving over to COEP. COEP. This thing didn't look too bad. We're still under $1, so we're not going to expect a lot of halts on this one. It is holding this 28 pivot. We have previous highs at 28.29, so that's kind of like a key level. It does open above it, but we do have the daily 200 here at 33. We are below VWAP. We have this kind of big old U pattern going off here. Yeah, I mean, okay, you know, we are breaking VWAP here, and we go back to the 200, but it insta fail. So if I see something like this again, I'm usually out on a ticker, and in this case, it fails. So like AIRE, I kind of expected this on AIRE, but did not do that. Nice U pattern out of the gates. So that's something to think about and see if, you know, this is going to be a pattern going forward. But yeah, that's kind of it for COEP. CTM. Oh, we got a lot to fucking get through. Holy shit. COEP or CTM was a random volcano spiker on Tuesday. The pre-market, I think I took this one off because I just didn't want to look at it. But this right here is all low volume chop bullshit. We're still, even here, chop bullshit, but however, we do hold this one pivot right here. So solid flag if you're getting in there. We do have a nice kind of cup and handle inside flag right here. We also have this beautiful mini uptrend we got going. So the volume isn't amazing, I would say, but this kind of, you have a lot of good opportunities around noon for this one. It goes straight up 190 EMA wave into 170s, and then it starts to halt down. And I think that's kind of it for that one. Yeah, kind of died out. But, and then also to note as well, we have seen a lot of big runners hold VWAP and then push back. Even though this failed rotation, you still get what, $1.13 to $1.53. So you're still getting 40-cent move there. That's pretty good. But yeah, this is a nice move, nice midday move. So far, we've seen a couple of those, so I'll be keeping those in mind for tomorrow. G5 B. This one ran a couple days ago, low volume, your typical volcano fade into open, no volume, so don't really care. KITT, I didn't see this one the entire day. This is a low grinder recycled name. It goes basically not vertical, but it's pretty much straight up the entire time. And then in pre-market, it's cooking, so this one will be definitely on watch for tomorrow to see what happens. I'm not going to really review much down here. It's more just like a low grind towards the close. All right, moving over to LAES dill pickle chips. Dude, LAES has been on a fucking tear. Let's go and look at the daily on LAES real quick. So the move on LAES started on December 10th, and it's been going up since then. So this is something where I would love to get better at swinging and kind of multi-day pivotal levels and all that, because the moves can be massive. We don't get in Pennylands, we don't get a lot of this continual movement. Usually we get one spike and it dies. We'll get lucky if we get a couple days out of it, but this is, I would say, unusual. Not happens a lot for penny stocks, but this is a beautiful run so far. LAES just always stays relevant. Today it was a crazy, like even today, like it kind of faded off. It did hold 5 pivot, so 5 pivot was on Monday, December 23rd. It went up to 5s there. It did break pre-market. It did come down there. It held, stayed flat. It held again this morning, and then just went straight up. So this was a beautiful setup right here. I tend to stay away from this again just because I don't trade multi-day recycled names too well. But again, we have another pivotal level that was a previous day high. Always got to watch out for those. But nice push here, riding the 1.9. EMA, you kind of have this double bottom extended flag here. You got one pivot there, you got one pivot there, you got this like little downtrend there. Nice clear breaks and goes. Gotta love it. I don't know if it halts there, but no. But yeah, this thing was an all-day grinder. Goes up again and then puts in another very similar flag again. Right, we have the kind of triple bottom flag here, and then push again. So this kind of repeated itself twice, twice, and then it kind of got a little choppy here towards the end. But overall, amazing ticker. That's, you know, something that need to study more of. Moving over to LICN, LICN ran on. This one ran like in the 1 o'clock close after hours. So again, this one along with AD, I was just kind of skeptical of. I didn't really know what it was gonna do. It did pop, but then it was fading off. Yeah, so I didn't really touch it. It looks like it just died out there. I don't know if that's an offering or if that's just stop loss rate or what, but it got fucking cooked. God damn. All right, moving over to LITM. LITM is also another multi-day recycled name. It ran on the 24th. So we're looking at 12.18 highs of $1. So we're still kind of trying to get there. It didn't get there on the 24th. However, in pre-market, it does clip up to 1. I don't really love these types of plays. We do have kind of this U pattern here. It does hold VWAP. Where are we at here? We have this little double bottom here over VWAP. That's nice. This flag right here. Very nice. Let's see. I think they did that yesterday too. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, yesterday it did, or on Tuesday it did dip down the VWAP and push, but a nice reclaim. Anytime you get reclaims of VWAP like this did, and there's another example I'll show a little bit later. Down, up, breakthrough VWAP, and it holds. It's not a bad idea to add into it, but weird price action, but it does push. And then I don't know what the fuck this is. but then it pushes again. So we'll keep LITM on watch. That could kind of break that one pivot. Okay, moving over to MGIH. This one was on high watch for myself for the old downtrend, break into open, and kind of sky high, then volcanoed. We've seen this pattern like a ton of times between this week, Monday, Tuesday, and last week. This is the one that I'm personally making my most cash money on. Is basically the first 2 minutes of the market open, we get this big push, especially for something in a downtrend. But there are a lot of factors that, you know, influence if it's going to do it or what kind of move it's going to do. So MGIH, this thing came from $1.70, so we don't have to worry about super tight halt bands, which is nice. That's kind of the key for me to not get bagged. It goes straight up. We're kind of in this downtrend. It is holding though, so we're not coming all the way back down to like 2s. We're holding this 350 pivot. If we are over the intra 200, we're opening basically at VWAP. So to me, this was a clear-cut add for me. However, sometimes things like this, they don't work or they go down further than you'd think. But this one off the rip just kind of held and then just pushed straight up. Beautiful push into pre-market highs. So this is 3 fucking minutes into pre-market highs. Halts, pushes a little higher, and then dies off a cliff. I did try some here down in VWAP just because we have seen this before. But we also have seen a lot of just straight up, straight down moves. So be careful of this. Don't overplay something like this, especially if it starts to break VWAP. Let that shit settle down. Maybe it'll come back up and hold again. But after this move on MGIH, it just fucking died. Goddamn. Rest in peace for MGIH. Okay, moving over to PDYN. PDYN. This one was also a multi-day recycled name. It ran on the 23rd or 24th, sorry. It got to 525 for the highs. It did, so I didn't like it here, but it did push here, and it was kind of flagging into open over VWAP. We do have yearly highs at 790. So the fact that we aren't at this pivotal level at 790, we do have another level at 850. So the yearly highs is at 7090. I'll show you that right now. If you go back a little bit to right here on December 2nd, this open price was the highs of this for the year, but we do have this pre-market level at 850. So we have a couple levels that I feel like we can get to from this. And so if we look at it, it does break down through VWAP. It holds the intra 200. So this is a nice add right here. I didn't get this because I was playing MGIH. So, but this is a nice dip. And then it pushes, holds VWAP here. So similar to LITM, I believe, where it breaks down, it pulls back, and does this. I actually added again here. So we have this like uptrend. We're holding VWAP. I thought, okay, we have a clear, you know, I can risk off a 670s and get this push to 790s. It goes straight down through that. I was kind of like, you know, ready to punch a hole in the wall. Not really, but comes all the way back down to the inch of 200. And then comes back through VWAP here. And I re-added here on this mini candle here. Just because, like I said this whole time, anything that breaks down, just give it a second. Anything that breaks through VWAP, I like to kind of hold over that first dip to VWAP. And this thing fucking exploded into the yearly highs. And then it reached up to 850. Which is beautiful. It was a beautiful trade. Let's see. It does put in a nice kind of 5-minute flag here, but it doesn't really go anywhere. And then this got real choppy, V pattern, and then death. Woof. Yeah, I mean, there was weird. I think this was overall weird, but we've seen this kind of pattern before where it kind of fakes out everyone and then it comes back up. Did add heavy off of that VWAP, but so that was a nice trade here. Didn't get anything up here. I think I sold most of it at the yearly highs, but nice flag here if you're trying to, if you got anything or didn't miss or missed any of this. But yeah, PDYN was really good as well. Moving on over to Wrapped, RAPT. This thing moved on Monday. It was nothing, and then all of a sudden, pre-market, it got kind of close to 230, so it was on my radar. No volume ever got into the stock. It just kind of faded out. So we'll be keeping this on watch. It did fade out to 175, but it might come back. Who knows? Moving over to SES. This thing also moved yesterday, the past couple of trading days. I keep saying yesterday, but I mean Tuesday. But this thing, I didn't expect much of. It did dip down here. We have the daily 200 at 96 cents. It breaks back through there. We have this nice push here. I wouldn't have got any of this, and especially once it's up here, I just would have stayed away. But this, we have a beautiful flag here that's holding VWAP. 1, 2, 3, 4 times, 5 times. It hits VWAP here. It pushes out. We have this kind of like cup and handle / inside 5 flag here. Basically what that means is you have this resistance point here at 117. It breaks through, and then it comes back down, dips to that resistance point and holds, and then pushes out. So this is one of my favorite setups. We haven't really seen a lot of this recently, but this type of move, if you miss it down here, it's a clear risk off of this pivotal level, and then you're holding for a break. But this thing went straight up into 190s. I mean, it was a fucking crazy move. Today was a lot of good moves. I think it was a little bit of a million different stocks everywhere, but I mean, this is a great flag into VWAP. A nice flag here into 117, and then a push into I don't have 190s, but I'm sure that's kind of a pivotal level. Looking after that, it does come down. It does get close to VWAP here, so maybe a couple ads, but it failed to rotate to this 175 point. It is moving in after hours right now, so keep SES on watch for tomorrow. Moving to SKK, this thing was a no pre-market. I don't know if it was news, but it was just basically halting the entire day. It does go to a pivotal level and fails, so that's the one takeaway here. I'm not going to review anything else. Is that just make sure you have daily pivotal levels marked, because that's usually where these things bounce off of. SMX, triple X, let's see, SMX. This is another one. Again, a lot of people, these types of pre-markets don't usually work. I go over this a lot. Something that is pushing, we don't even get to one of the previous highs. So this is the lowest previous high at 50. We have another high at 60. We have another high at 77. So these are in the past 30 days, the highs that it's gotten to. If I see something like this that's not even getting to the first one, I typically stay away, especially this first pop and then just kind of fade. Even though it was holding, I still didn't like it. So it did fade off into a cliff. It did come back midday, but the volume here is very low. Yeah, I mean, really not much to say there, but that's more or less a volcano to me. So moving over to SPRC, kind of a long ass video. SPRC, let's see, this thing was flat. This kind of had no previous runners, but I didn't like the fact that we were opening pretty much at highs. These types of moves that open near highs tend to not produce as much. So I stayed away from SPRC. But yeah, we have this open bell, high a day, and then just straight up fade. And we've seen this pattern, not a lot this week or last week, but we'll see it a lot in general. TCRX, there's like no volume here. Volcano, nothing there. WATT, TJ Watts, Volcano, no volume there. And our last one is ZCAR. ZCAR was another one that I thought could make a bigger move. I did add here into this daily dip at 260. I did sell, I think I sold most of it like right here. Right there. Just because a lot of things have been rejecting off VWAP. And I think I was in MGIH. But it didn't even get back to pre-market high. You'll get that a couple times. Usually you want to mark this kind of this second push, this higher low. Or is it a higher low? No, it's a lower high, might be. So when you have this kind of downtrend, always mark that kind of the second lower high and use that as like the first, you know, sell point. You also have VWAP, so you can also take some off of VWAP if you're below it. But usually what I've been using is pre-market highs, this lower high, and then if you have something like VWAP or key level, those are kind of like my sell points, and then hold maybe a little bit just in case it gets freaky with it up to 513. But this did push and then faded off. So the ones that are going super early, like the ones in a downtrend like ZCAR and PDYN that go straight up, don't tend to make secondary moves. So just keep that in mind. Once they go straight up, they tend to come straight down. It doesn't mean they're always going to do it, but just be careful. Don't fuck yourself. Wait for things like PDYN came back down and then pushed back. Well, it wasn't PDYN, my bad. It was MGIH. But wait for stuff like PDYN where it breaks down and then kind of rotates and then maybe try again. But anyways, that is going to do it. Holy shit, 26 minutes. This is my longest fucking review. That's a long fucking time. Anyway, while we're here, we're going to talk about the overall market and tomorrow, what the plan is for tomorrow. Again, we're looking for these types of tickers. So you have this early morning trade, and then you also have flags off of VWAP. You have, you know, recycled names, multi-days, pivoting off of their previous day highs. Yeah, all that kind of jazz. So there's only kind of like a few, 2 or 3 setups that I'm looking for tomorrow. Anything under VWAP like this, I tend to stay away from. But yeah, hopefully we get tomorrow. We get similar price action as today. Today, while it was all over the place, there were some fan-fucking-tastic moves. So let's go and kill it.